Right. Hi, guys. Hi, hello. Hope you are doing well. It's been a minute since I've been here. You know that thing where like artists would say, I need to live life before I start making music. That's basically what this is with me and my videos. So yeah, I've lived life, as I'd say. And I'm back. And I've got something I really want to talk about, but just to give an intro of myself for those that are new, my name is Temi Lope, or you can call me Temi Lope. I am a content producer, and my mission is to exhibit music in a grand and glamorous way that just shows how great we are in the UK. I feel we need more of a live presence to really exhibit how great the creativity in music, in the arts is in the UK. Like, we're recognized all around the world, but there's not much of an emphasis within our own country, which is crazy. So that's what I'm on a mission to do. So that's that aside. Let's get into this video. I want to talk about some things that I have learnt from the business of Beyoncé, the business of Beyoncé Knowles-Carter. If you do not know who she is, you're actually living under a rock, like for real. And obviously it sounds crazy to say if you don't know who she is, because it's like, do you get how big she is? Yeah. But yeah, I want to talk about 3 things that I've learnt from her concerts as a new concert producer. The first ever concert I went to when I was at the tender age of, I'm not telling you, sorry. My first ever concert that I went to a few years ago was Beyonce's concert in Tottenham's Hotspur. And that kind of set the bar for me. It set the bar in a way that I didn't think it was so profound, because when I was at that concert, I was like, sorry if I'm looking down, I'm looking at my notes. When I went there, I was just like, yeah, this was a great concert. Like, isn't this not the standard? Isn't this not how it's meant to be? But apparently it's not like that. That's why she sets the bar and everyone's trying to race towards that bar, because apparently it's not normal to have something of that great magnitude. I'm not even talking about size. I'm not talking about size, because there's some people that have the size of that concert and it lacks substance. The substance is what I'm talking about. And many concerts lack that nowadays. It really does not matter what stage you are in your career. You could be a new artist, you could be up there with the Beyoncés and the Rihannas, but substance is a thing that's really lacking a lot in the culture of live music. And I want to get into a few things that I've learnt from her show that I thought could be really important for me, definitely for me, and for anyone watching who's maybe interested in this kind of stuff. So let's get into it. The first one is the people you work with, your team. This is something I've wrestled with for a while, because again, I got into this industry because I wanted to work with people. I love working in a team. I've grown up in gospel choirs. I've grown up playing the violin in an orchestra. I've grown up working in media behind the scenes. Like, I know what it's like to be part of a team. But I never had the talk of the kind of people you work with and how important that is. Side note, I had a talk with Kim Burrell, as in the Grammy-winning Kim Burrell.
Beyond CRTV, we're creating a platform to celebrate and promote the vocal talent in the UK. Very good, but we need to know of you, because that's what that's why we're over here, is to bring those forces together and find out who the UK is. As a matter of fact, Gospel Music Hall of Fame is launched.
And I asked her a question of how important it is to have a team. How important is it to have the right people around you at the beginning days? And she said it's not that important.
One more question, if you don't mind. How important is having a community at the grassroots stages of your career? How important is that?
It's not as important as it may seem.
Okay.
In some cases.
Okay.
The building of the community is the intricate part.
When I tell you, my heart my heart slowly cracked a little bit when she said that. What do you mean it's not important? That's the reason why I'm here. What do you mean it's not important? And she spoke about how, this links with Beyonce, don't stay with me. She spoke about how when you're at the beginning days, it's so important for you to be so clear of the vision that you are executing. It's so important for you to be so clear about what exactly you're doing and making sure it's done the right way. Not just any way because you got people around you, you got help around you. So coming to Beyonce's thing, I've watched her documentaries, I've read articles, and a through line of everything she's done, at least in her solo career, is the people around her are stretched. They are stretched beyond the typical standards. Yes, they may be contracted for a specific amount of hours, for example, but they would go beyond it. Like, I remember there was a clip in Homecoming, and at the end credit clips, and this guy was saying like, oh, it's so funny how it's called Homecoming when none of us are going home, because the late hours are real. The late hours are real, and it's a testament of the kind of people she has around her. Character wins. Character will always win. Despite the talent you have, despite the gift that you have, talent is number one. Because you have to be able to like these people. Like them to the point that you're able to work with them. Do you get what I'm saying? And I've seen, like, in my experience working in the music industry, behind the scenes, doing my own thing, the importance of people that are integral, the importance that people are kind, the importance of people being hardworking. You can have the talent, but if you're not hardworking, you can only go so far. And I do not want to be held back by people who do not have a level of resilience, of a level of hard, like, to work hard. Just even if it's not your own project, but just to have that spirit within you. I can't surround myself with people that are just like, it's okay, like, they won't see the small details. I'm that person, and I've learned this from I had a video that went viral of Michelle Williams talking about Beyonce and, like, making sure that every detail is. Oh wait, no, that was a different video. Hold on. Michelle Williams spoke about how Beyonce was saying, like, something she's learned from her is that you do not leave any stone unturned. Like, you have to make sure, even if no one else sees it, you look at the details. You make sure that you are very particular with the details. And I'm that kind of person that even if you don't see it, it's a principle for me to adhere to, where I attend to as much of the detail that I can, just for the sake of peace of mind, just to know that I've done the best that I could do. If you don't have people around you that have a similar level of, like, that similar vibe, I'd rather work by myself. And I did. My first concert, I did practically by myself. I had assistance. I had help with some people, with one person from the band before the show happened. And then during the show, my dad was my, like, right-hand man. And that was it. That's it. And I'm fine with that because of the way the show, because it could have been way worse. But thank God we don't even have to think about that. So I'm becoming very, very more, I'm becoming very particular, very intentional about the people that are around me, especially when it comes to a project I'm just launching. Cowboy Carter, Renaissance, going into genres that she's not really tapped into that much. You need to be very particular about the people that you surround yourself with, the voices that are coming into your mind about something that you want to do that's a risk, especially something that's a risk. You don't want people now telling you, oh, are you sure? I don't know if you want to do that. You don't want to ruin your reputation, blah, blah, blah. Cowboy Carter and her reputation concerning the country show thing is a whole different thing. But that's just evidence of the kind of voices you have around you. So yeah, that's one thing I've learned from the business of Beyonce. And I say business of Beyonce because it is a business. You know, I don't know her. One day I will, but I don't know her. But all I can talk about is the brand, the way in which you're meant to execute a creative vision, a creative venture. That's what I'm here to talk about. All right, second one. The second thing I've learned, which is something I don't think many people even, I've not seen anyone talk about this. Not like I'm actively looking out, but I've not heard it before. Though Beyonce is the face of the show, she is the MC of the night. Let me explain. When I went to Renaissance, bear in mind, I've never been to a concert before that. I went to Renaissance. I was like, oh my gosh, wow, Beyonce, I'm going to actually see her live. Wow. When it came to the show and actually just the program of the show, I realized I don't actually care about her, if that makes sense. I didn't care. Ugh, it sounds so bad. But what I'm trying to say is that, yes, the Renaissance album is from her. Yes, she made that album. Yes, the story comes from her family, like her Uncle Johnny and stuff like that. It's not actually about her. It's more about that genre. It's more about that world she's creating. And she is the vessel for that world to exist. People like her way, her storytelling of house music, of dance hall. Is it ballroom? Sorry, ballroom. People like her way. There's so many other artists out there. There's Grace Jones. There's I don't even know I don't know that genre that much, but there are other storytellers out there through music. But people love her way of doing it. I loved her portrayal of Renaissance, of house music, and it was it was such a fun world to be in, because in that stadium it really feels like you're in a big room, even though you're outside. But yeah, so one thing I learned is that you are a vessel at the end of the day. Whatever it is that you're talking about, you're a vessel. Ballroom existed before Beyonce. Country music existed before Beyonce. R&B existed before Beyonce. To be a single lady existed before Beyonce, but it was her portrayal, her storytelling of that topic, of that genre, is what drew people. And it's something I'm really, really thinking about, in the importance of world building, the importance of portraying something through your lens. Again, it's your lens, it's relative, it's subjective. It's either people like it or they don't. If they don't, you can move on. If you do, you stay around. And that's what all of the about 40,000 people did in that stadium. So with my concert, for example, take me as an example. When I did my concert for The Soul by Temi Lopa, it was bringing the things that I love, R&B, jazz, and soul. However, I also brought gospel into it. I grew up in the church. I am a church girl. And I've had my own journey when it comes to church. I've had my own way of understanding who God is. And I learned a lot of it through music, through the new innovations of music. And I say innovations because it's people like Kirk Franklin that I grew up with, people like Dietrich Haddon that I grew up with, people like Mary that I grew up with. Those were innovations. Those were seen as the new thing, the new portrayal, and it allowed me to understand gospel more. The gospel never changed. The gospel never changed. It was the portrayal that changed. And I really, really did look up to that. And I was like, okay, what can we do? What can we do now? Yes, gospel is number one, it is part of my foundation, but there needs to be a new portrayal, I believe, especially in the UK. So I had the amazing Tura, that also is a part of the Warehouse Worship Collective, and she did amazing renditions. I love it so much. I'll watch it back. I got the recordings that I should be posting soon, but I watch it back as if it's not my own show because I just loved her vibe. She brought a lot of a Latin essence into a song that's so traditional, so traditional. I could probably put a clip here or something. Forever I love you, forever I stand. Oh, nothing compares to the promise I have. Oh, and nothing compares to the promise I have. To the promise I have, nothing compares to the promise I have. Down the nothing compares to the promise I have, and nothing compares to the promise I have in you. Her portrayal was amazing of classic songs, and that's really what I want to do, because that's that world that I'm part of, that's the world that I love. So yeah, I really learned that from Beyonce. Again, I'm not even an artist, I'm a producer. I'm purely producing, but I'm building that world, and I understood even if you were an artist, understand that you're just a vessel. You're just a vessel of portraying this message, this world, this genre, this feel, this atmosphere, and being successful in that, detaching yourself from that is where the longevity lies, is where success is. And I absolutely loved it. Like, I really did, like, that was one of the first things I noticed in that show. Like, it's not about her. Renaissance was not about her. Cowboy Carter was not about her. It was about, like, it is her, but it's different. It's very much giving, I'm a vessel of this story. I'm going to be used as an example of this world. Understand it, like, it's like the gospel. Like, you learn about the kingdom of God through different people, through Peter, through Paul, through Abraham, all these different things. So it's just people's portrayal of the same world that they're a part of. So yeah, that's what I learned from. That's the second thing I learned from Beyonce. And the third one, which I feel like kind of goes without saying, but I feel like we need to say it more so people are reminded, especially myself, is that product is number one. Product is number one. You can do all the marketing in the world. I come from a marketing background. Obviously, I've had a background in videography and editing. So I'm very much associated with people that are marketing something, people that want to promote something, the glitz and the glam of a product. However, being caught up in that makes you neglect the product, and you do not want to be there. You don't want to be there. You do not want to be there. You do not. So when it came to my concert, again, just using me as an example, I kind of did go in a bit more than I normally have when it came to promotions. And people did tell me, like, oh, I really love your confidence. Like, going into marketing this, I really love how you're putting yourself out there and stuff. And I love that. However, I don't want to now. One thing about me, my reputation is more important than riches and gold. I don't care about, like, wealth does not matter if I don't have a reputation, if that makes sense. So I'd rather be known to have given an audience something of substance, something that has impact, and making sure that the product is number one, make sure that there is substance in there so that when people see, even through all the marketing stuff, they get to the root of it all and they see, okay, this is something worthwhile and long lasting. And that's one thing I really had to recenter multiple times in the journey, even to the day. Yeah, well, something in Beyonce's thing that really just made me think about that was that when I was at her concerts, again, you're in a concert in person, not through a screen. What, like, as people said, I don't say this, but people will say, like, oh, we're breathing the same air as Beyonce, like, literally in the same vicinity as her. Nothing's blocking but you. Nothing's blocking between you and her, kind of thing. When you're in that kind of environment, nothing else matters. You're not thinking about a single thing except the music, except the show. It's either a good show or it's not. And many people, like myself, can get caught up in the allure, the glitz and the glamour of it. Like, oh, on social media they'll be promoting on Vogue, Beyonce's wearing Mugler, or Beyonce's wearing Off-White, But when you're in the venue, I couldn't care. I couldn't care what brand it is. I couldn't care. It could be from Primark. It could be from H&M. It could be from Zara. I don't care. There was, like, one time on a red carpet, a guy wore all Zara, but still looked great. But people were like, oh, it's Zara. I was like, I don't care. If it's good, it's good. If it's not, it's not. And that is something that is so important when it comes to a live experience. You need to make sure everything works together. Everything needs to work together. Going back to the Destiny's Child's days, where I read Matriarch by Tina Knowles, Beyonce's mum, who styled Destiny's Child. And the label used to hate on her so much, so whether systematically or whether directly, like, your outfits you're giving them are tacky and da-da-da-da-da. More time, all these designers are calling her, saying, we want to bring you into our showroom. Can you help us style and design some pieces? And the label are saying, oh, you need to get some labels involved. You need to go with a more formal, professional stylist. She knew what was good and she knew what was not. She knew their style and therefore adhered to it and made something revolutionary and new. They brought the classy Motown vibe to the 1990s. Do you get what I'm saying? So the labels don't matter. Social media doesn't matter. The numbers doesn't matter. When it comes to a live experience, it's either you look good or you don't. It's either you sound good or you don't. And we're able to decipher that in person. You'll get a clear response from people whether it's good or not. Social media will leave you guessing. Some people will like it out of pity. Some people will like it out of, oh, she tried. Oh, it's okay. Next time. But we'll keep encouraging. And then there's nothing wrong with that. But you do not want a career based on people giving you... Jesus, no. You can't have a career based on people giving you sympathy. You can't. Sorry. That is actually not my portion. So I'm always going to make sure that whatever I do, I don't care where it's from. If it looks good, if it makes sense for what is going on, it works. And that's that. I don't care for the labels. I don't need such a big brand. I don't need I don't need it. I don't need it. I don't need it. I don't need it. Do you know what I'm saying? For example, for some reason, Stevie Wonder comes to mind when he was 13, also starting out. I think he was 13, about that. Just a young boy with a harmonica, but he sounded so good. You can't put that to the side, how great he was at a young age. That's what made him last. The product. Yes, he was associated with Motown because they saw the product. It wasn't the other way around. A lot of us are doing that thing where we'd rather have the label with us first and then we can now focus on the product, focus on making sure, okay, do we actually have something of substance to give the people? It's the other way around, babe. It's the other way around. You need to have something of substance before you now start attaching yourself to all these different things. Destiny's Child had no label. No designer label because they couldn't even work with them. They weren't the body of their time. And see what we got today. Do you see what I'm saying? When you yourself has something of substance and you rock with it and you work with it and you make it like it's the best thing since sliced bread, people will now hop on that train. And we need more of trendsetters. We need more trailblazers. We need more, I'm going to do it, I don't care what they say kind of people. Because if it's good, it's good. If it's good, there's a clear indication of if it's good, it's good. And you just know. You just know. Do you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's just what I've learned from the business of Beyoncé. That's what I've learned from, one thing about me, I respect that. I respect the business of Beyoncé. It is absolutely something I'm like, you guys, this is not no overnight thing at all. Nothing overnight about this. And I respect it so much. And I just pray that I continue to stay on this journey and keep on going no matter what. Lol, that's actually a quote from her documentary, Homecoming. That just shows you how much I've watched that thing. Yeah, I absolutely, I respect it so much. And I hope they're all doing great. If anyone sees it from their team, hi, hello. Stick around, I'm just here to really just talk about things that I want to see more of. And not just talk about it, but do. So yes, I had my first concert in March, but that's not the end. Purely the beginning. It is purely the beginning. And I've not even posted much online, just not to go on a tangent a bit, but I purposely not really posted online because when it comes to doing something new, not everybody's going to get it first time. So it's important to be in the right place at the right time, surrounded with your actual audience. Do you get what I'm saying? So I'm just currently working on what that looks like and how to position myself well for this thing to come to pass the way it's meant to. Thanks for listening. Thanks for sticking around. And I hope you have a great day. Bye.